Amazon rainforest.
There are creatures that science calls carnivorous plants.
But Verdant current calls them bearers of the Satyr's blade. The three most prominent species. Venus flytrap. Nepenthes.
And Drosera.
Not just meat.
But also bears the ancient mark of the Earth Spirit.
Venus flytrap is the gate to the swamp. The snap trap machine is faster than the blink of an eye, as fast as the soul is swallowed into darkness.
Botanists call these action potentials.
Trigger bristles. Plant electrophysiology.
But the Kohari shamans say otherwise. If the soul is not real, the door will be closed.
Touch in 2 beats.
Science calls it short-term memory. Inside the trap is an enzyme. Protease. Phosphatase. Chitinase. The natives say. It is a ritual to wash away sins. Hear the Venus flytrap closing at midnight. The old men would say, another soul has ended.
Fact or legend?
No one dared to come near to ask. Nepenthes is not just a plant.
It is a vessel of the dead.
Born after the great flood.
Science sees Nepenthes in
enzymatic acids. A living picture microbiome.
But the forest sees a well of souls.
a place where darkness gathers. The place where, when you look down, you will see Nepenthes amidst VOCs, sweet as a promise.
But it is
an invitation to the ultimate end.
Some species even house bats.
They offer shelter, and the bats return nutrients.
Shamans call it a pact of the abyss. A nepenthes swallow my eyes. It once swallowed the soul of a lost warrior.
Drosera is the softest creature.
And also the scariest.
The mucilage drops glisten like dew.
But that is the duct tape of the end of life.
Polysaccharides, glycoproteins, digestive enzymes.
Once it sticks, there is no escape.
Transcriptomics shows that Drosera knows how to regulate enzymes.
As if it were thinking.
Those drops of light are the tears of the sun. Cry for the souls that have fallen in the forest.
Drosera must be protected and respected.
Because it guides lost souls.
Science talks about nitrogen acquisition.
Trap biomechanics.
Enzyme regulation.
Evolutionary adaptation.
The forest god entrusted the law to 3 keepers. Venus swallows liars. Nepenthes imprisons lost souls. Seeing them is not a bad omen. It is a warning from the forest. That you are entering a land of ancient law. Look into the spirit of the forest.
With verdant current, they're not just carnivorous plants.
The warren of darkness. Be the gatekeeper of the soul, and is the weapon of the forearm.
Science explained. Enzymes, plastics.
But the final path always lies beyond the mist. Not only for living. They were born to protect.
And to reclaim the soul when the forest needs it.
forest took back the energy it once gave.